Welcome back, guys. Abe and I are in the studio, and it's Monday. We definitely skipped out on a whole week. I apologize.
Yo, I was dying.
Last week was hella crazy. Like, that's all I can say. I feel like we definitely tried to jam-pack one too many things into the week, and unfortunately, us getting an episode out was just not going to happen. Can we just do
I was dying.
And Abe was dying. He wants everybody to know.
I was fine.
How do you feel today?
I feel good. I feel like I finally recovered.
Okay, so let's do some rewind and catch up with you guys. So last weekend,
I was dying.
Abe, you were dying. Tell us why you were dying.
No, go on.
Abe had to devote an entire weekend to taking care of some, what I like to call business. And
What do you mean?
then you were studying all weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then we hit Monday, and I was like, oh, we could still get an episode out. And then it was like, no, it's not going to happen, because Tuesday came and you were out of pocket. And then when did Abe ended up getting his COVID shot actually this week?
The first one, yeah.
The first one.
I got the Moderna. Yo, I'm not going to lie. I feel like I never get sick, right? Or at least I try to like walk it off. I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'll go to work with like a fever, all that stuff, right? Like, I don't even care. But this time I got the Moderna shot, and I was like, I'm be good. I don't know if like I started like I like placebo effect, like thinking like I was like fucked up, but my jaw started going. I got the first shot, right? And my jaw started, I was like, dude, I feel funny. One, it probably didn't help that I was super tired, and I drank a Bang that day, right? And I was like, whoa, I feel good. I feel great. I'm focused, right? Then I went to go get the shot. And then soon after that, my face was kind of numb. Like, my jaw started going numb. And I was like, oh, no, I'm going to be like one of those people that half their face goes paralyzed because of the shot. I was like, my face is going to have to be fucked up for like a week, you know? I'm going to have to like, how am I going to explain this to Courtney? Like, my face is just going to be crooked for a week. And I'm going to be like, yep, because I took this Bang or drank this Bang with the shot, and I started like freaking myself out. And I was like, it was the Bang. I shouldn't have drank the Bang. And ended up being nothing. But then
I'm like thinking, and you told none of this to me.
No. I mean, I was announcing in the office, because obviously, like, I went back to work right after that, and I was like, "Yo, I don't feel right. I was like, my jaw feels funny. So if half my face gets paralyzed and I start looking funny, like, you guys got to tell me so I can get checked out." And then they're like, "Nah, you're overthinking it. You got the placebo effect. Like, it's like placebo. Like, it's all in your head. Like, or just making shit up because you're paranoid about the shot." And I was like, yeah, that's probably all true, but I do feel weird. Like, my jaw does feel odd. And I went home, and then it feels like somebody beat the shit out of me, you know, like my bones hurt. That's really what it was. I was fatigued, body chills, then I got like a slight fever, and then like my bones were hurting. I was like, oh man, like, if this is what, like, I never got coronavirus during the whole thing, but I was like, if this is like a small taste of what it really feels like, I'm like, damn, I would have been out of pocket for like a whole 2-3 weeks trying to like fight off a virus, you know. So even now, I'm kind of sick. Oh, I forgot to highlight too, and I kind of had like a cold too going in to take the shot, but I was like, I'm just gonna get the shot because I don't want to wait. It's super irresponsible, but I don't want to wait another month to be on the waiting list for the shot. Mm-hmm. You know? because they kind of force you into taking it, honestly, like, right?
You think so?
Oh yeah. Like,
With everything going on.
yeah, like even if I didn't want to take it, which I kind of didn't, they kind of forced me to take it. Obviously, it was under my own free will, but I feel like if I go back to the United States, right, and I want to like reintegrate into normal life, it's either one. I kind of take a hit on my mental health, having to be locked up and not integrating back into society, or I take a hit on my physical health, and I just roll the dice and like try to get this shot, and that way so I can reintegrate into, the U.S. and, German things. If you have the shot, like you can go out to eat, and like it's super strict right now, right? In Germany, you can't do anything. You can't even fart in the street without having to make an appointment or something like that. And past 9 o'clock, like we got a curfew, but Courtney can talk about that. So yeah, it's been an odd week.
Yeah, so I didn't know that you felt any of those things until just now.
Yeah, I forgot about it. Maybe because I was just like, I just didn't care. Because I knew, honestly, if I knew that I told you I felt sick, you're going to be like, oh my God, you can't get the shot. And I was just like, I'm just going to get it.
No. This is what you really thought. You're like, I'm not going to tell her how sick I feel because she's going to be like, I told you. Because I know that you like to talk the talk, but you can't always walk the walk. And I just knew, I was like, it's going to knock him on his ass, because I hear that pretty much everybody I've talked to has said like it really takes a toll on your body. So I was worried. Yeah.
And then I thought I was good, and I was like, oh, let's go hiking. And then I was like, fuck, I'm messed up. Like I can't. I just want to sleep,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're back, so that way we can finally get this episode out. We had people waiting for an entire week to find out where we're going. But, so yeah, you got the shot. It knocked you on your ass all week. And then we also, in the midst of Abe having to take care of stuff for work, and then Abe getting his COVID shot, we turned in our paperwork to get our marriage license, which was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
We never did like a formal announcement, though, that we were engaged. But here it is now.
Yeah. I think there's some things that should be kept private. Like, I don't want to... I'll talk about my life. I'm pretty open book with everything else in my life, but there's certain like intimate moments that... I don't feel like I need to answer to anybody. As far as
I just feel like being overseas and being away from our family and friends, and then like in the midst of COVID, it wasn't like something that for me that I personally wanted to like shout from the rooftops. And then we both agreed on the same thing. Like, I feel like the older that I get, the more that I am private with certain things. And I was like, well, we have to share so many other things, and this was something that we just wanted to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, and it's kind of odd too, because we were planning on having a wedding in Greece and everything, and like it's coming to a point where we don't even know if that's going to happen, right? Just because of the borders aren't open. We can't even leave like our state, and now we have new curfews, or we can't even leave our county, really, right? We can't leave our county. We definitely can't leave our state.
I don't know where we can go anymore. We can go to the grocery store, and we can go to our house.
We could shop by appointments, and if we have like a rapid COVID test and we prove that we don't have COVID, and then if we can get an appointment, and then on top of that, right, the curfew is like 9, so we can't be out past 9.
And with that being said, that just went down this week.
And you were back to one-to-one households. Only one person from another household can visit us. Yeah,
within the city, because we live in the city.
Just like overall.
And see, there's a lot of conflicting information out.
I don't know. That's what I read.
And so also, I
mean, we live in the city and on top, so it doesn't matter. So,
yeah, but I just hear that it's more lenient with people who live out in the villages and other towns.
Well, we live in the city, so we're locked down.
Okay. You guys tracking that?
I'm sorry, I'm just salty.
I'm salty too because I have put on like a really good face because I'm really quick to make a laundry list of complaints. If that was my job, I would do so well at it. But I'm getting tired, and I'm tired of putting on the face. But it is what it is, and we got to keep pressing forward. But it's just another day in quarantine for us, I guess, is what we're saying.
And we can outdoor eat, but it's like 30 degrees outside. It's still super cool, just for you guys, for our listeners that aren't in Germany. It's like 30, 40 degrees outside, so nobody's really trying to eat outside.
Yeah, the weather's been terrible.
I'm fighting for my life.
And Abe's still fighting for his life.
I fought with the broken back.
On that note, let's pivot. Let's talk about how the last 2 years before you knew that you were going to be a recruiter, how you would randomly be like, Court, where's your dream location? Where do you want to go to after Germany? Before we even knew anything.
Yeah, I used to bring it up all the time.
I didn't really get it. I really didn't.
What do you mean?
I didn't understand it's a part of just this lifestyle, you dream, you talk about it, you manifest it. And
I don't know. You just have a list of places that you can go, and I was just like, what are the places that what are going to be some of the places that I go to,
Yeah.
if I get slotted for this position, or I get it. So yeah.
But the places that when you would ask me before you were going to school to be a recruiter, and we just thought we were going to play off a list, I'd be like, well, Hawaii, Guam, hello. And then you'd be like, okay, Court, but realistically, in the States, where would we go? And I feel like it took us a long time to get on the same page as a place, but we always went back to Colorado. And I thought that's so weird. Because we've both been there. I've been TDY there. I absolutely loved it. Mm-hmm. And what were some of the places that you would say, these are where I want to go? When we get back to the States?
California, Colorado, and maybe Washington or Portland or something like that.
And then
Nevada.
And then we found out you got accepted into recruiting school, and we realized, can you explain to our listeners, when you're in the military, how your listing changes when you're just playing a list, quote unquote, to now that you're doing a special duty, your listing is longer of places you can go?
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're talking about, so traditionally, right, you get stationed at bases, Air Force bases, right, because we're in the Air Force. And they're all over the place, or there's at least one in every state. And then multiples in certain states that are considered strategic locations, right? So, but for a recruiter, everybody has a recruiter in their county. So there's a lot more places you can be at, pretty much. So that list is almost... It's infinite. Every county has an Air Force recruiter station that you service, an area, a couple cities and stuff like that you recruit out of. So, yeah. So it goes from 20, 30 bases that you can get stationed at, or 20 bases or whatever. I don't even know how many Air Force bases there is. I've never sat down and counted them out. But now it goes to one in every county. So your list gets longer. Super long.
And because I was talking to somebody this week, and they were telling me that
you get 100 choices to pick as a recruiter.
And how many did we get when we got our list?
We got like 70, I think.
And then
Oh no, like 50.
50.
Yeah.
And then we had, like, as soon as you got the list, it was like a Friday, I think. And I was like, we need to sit down and do this now. And you're like, no, we'll come back to it. And then I was like, we're going to come back to it, and then it's going to be too late. Like, we're going to be out of time. And to me, that was crazy to sit there and rack and stack all these potential places that you could have to live in.
Yeah, so for the people that don't understand, it's in order to, so we're pretty much, Courtney's talking about pretty much us getting stationed at our next base, if you didn't catch on. But pretty much what you have to do is you have to like number the list. You get like a listing, and I've been waiting on my listing for like months now. Ever since I found out my recruiter, like I hit these people up all the time, and I'm like, hey, do you got my list? Do you got my list? Do you got my list? And they're like, no. Finally, I think they got like tired of me sending emails to like the little headquarters out there. Were just like, all right, yeah, we got your list. And this guy sent me a list of like 50 bases that I could be, potential places that I could be working out of or recruiting out of for the Air Force. And those locations like varied wildly, right? And before all this, we had been looking at kind of places to live, right? Because we were just being hopeful, and actually had like a couple guys that I work with that were also got picked up. We also got like selected to go through recruiting, and we went through like the interview process and all that stuff. They ended up getting it. And he kind of shared with me what was on his list, and pretty much I kind of figured I was going to pick up his list also, just what was left over, because he was leaving before me. So one of the places that he kind of highlighted was Santa Rosa, California, right? Mm-hmm. So we started looking into all these places to live and all this stuff, and ended up being that we really like Santa Rosa, California, right? And we were like dead set on getting Santa Rosa. And I was like, so, it's a little bit more expensive, but the Air Force is going to pay us, like housing and, like let us buy a house down there. And the area seems nice. Seems like an awesome community. I was like, I just want to be outdoors, somewhere like close to the city, but like close to nature too, right? So we had done all this research for this place, but then we got our list, right, and like I said, our list was like every state imaginable, right? Pretty much
everywhere from Kansas to Ohio
to Portland to like
Portland,
Indianapolis,
Oregon,
to new places in New
North
Jersey,
Carolina.
Yeah, and I think like the top 10 places that like kind of stuck out to me was like that was on my list was like Santa Rosa, which did end up being on my list. What was it? Portland, Oregon, and then like Indianapolis, Raleigh, North Carolina, which I've never even heard of that place, but apparently it's like an awesome place to live, and like quality of life there is like really good. A lot of bang for your buck.
Because it's the South.
Yeah, but like, it was like, it's close to nature, close to the ocean, and then like they had a bunch of like 4-star chefs go down there and open up restaurants. There's a bunch of like new breweries. It's like an up and coming city, right? So that place, Indianapolis, like Cincinnati. What other big city did we have? Portland. Said Portland, right?
Oklahoma City.
Don't
forget about Oklahoma.
That's close to you, right?
And you asked me if I'd be willing to go.
Yeah. And then we had like Fountain Valley, which is like close to Huntington Beach. And then
we had some bomb places in California.
Resda. It's like somewhere by North Hollywood, by Northridge. And I was just like, dang, this is a lot of, what else in California? Somewhere else.
There was some place
Temecula.
Close, yeah.
And then like Vallejo, California, right? Which is like close to me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we have to pretty much take all these places and like some of them are just like, one horse towns, like in the middle of nowhere. Like I have no affiliation to some like small city in Michigan or Arkansas, and I'm just like, I don't even know what would I even do down there, right? Oh, one of them was Del Rio, Texas. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. That
was like on the border. It's right on the border, and they said Spanish speaking abilities, like they wanted them, right? So they were like, if in your record it says that you are a fluent Spanish speaker, which I am, we're gonna send you down there regardless. And I was like, I have had that on my record like since for life, and I'm sorry for whoever's on the border, but that's just, I'm not accustomed to that lifestyle, right? So, or being like, I didn't want to go to the border, right? So like, I was just like, no. And I went to go take that off to make sure I wasn't going to get like slotted and selected to that place. And it doesn't even seem like a bad spot, but I was just like, I don't want it, dude. I don't want to go down there. I don't want to go to like some random town in Texas, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, good with that, So took that off the list. And then you were like, yeah, take that off your list,
Yeah. That in Oklahoma and like everywhere else in the South.
See, I would have went to Oklahoma City. There's a lot to see. They got stuff down there.
Do they? Tell me.
Yeah, they got an NBA team, so I think that's pretty good. The city's kind of built up, so.
You're very flexible, and I know what I like. And I was like, no. But there were a lot of reasons why the South just wasn't Georgia, in my interest.
Florida, yeah.
Granted, if we got sent there, it is what it is. You move forward. But
I had Atlanta,
yeah,
and all the guys I recruited were
outside of there.
Yeah, all the guys that I was recruiting or that got recruiting assignments with me, they got sent to Atlanta. Yeah, so they're all kind of like going to be working together. But I was just like, Atlanta wouldn't be bad. Seems like I've been there before, right? I've pretty much been everywhere, and I'm like, it's not bad. But I don't want to go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the plan was like be close to family, pretty much, right? So that's why I wanted to go to the Oklahoma City. I'm just kidding.
I'm like looking at you right now, like, no. There's so many things that go into planning for a move like this, especially as a family. And like, I'm like, can I get a job, first of all? And also we have a kid. And
is there like a government agency there that,
yeah. And what's the curriculum going to be like in the school system, and what kind of people, what kind of community, especially with you in this job, you're going to be very in your community. And I was like, well, what kind of community are we about to, immerse ourselves in? And are we going to feel comfortable, or are we going to feel uncomfortable? What kind of conversations are we going to have with Levi, as he gets older, where we're living, and the kind of people that we're going to be around, and the neighbors we're going to have, and all those things. And it's just crazy. Like, the older you get, the more that things change, and the more that it's not just like pick a place on the map and, let's see if we like it or if we hate it.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was like, I don't want to go to some like random place in like Arkansas, and like I'm have to explain to Levi why there's, guys in white hooded masks, like.
There you go. And so I think for me, growing up in North Texas has a lot of the reasons why I am always shying away from saying some of the things I say, where I'm like, no. Like, like when we were picking out our list, and I was like, no, like, Abe, you don't get it. Like, you always say all the time how you're from California and how it's so different, and things that you experienced in New Jersey and when you were stationed there. And I'm like, when you go to the South, it's just a different game. It's such a different game. And for me, I'm like, that's just not where I want to live if I have a choice. But I don't. So we had to roll the dice.
Yeah, we had to rack. So you pretty much have to rack and stack this list of 50 locations, and you have like 5 days to like do your research and like figure out what you want to rack and stack. Like, prioritize, like, you have to label them like 1 through 50. Which in the end, I ended up asking the guy, I'm like, do I have to do this? And he's like, no, but I highly recommend you do it. So I'm like, so don't do it. Like, it's going to make your job easier, but in the end, it could probably fuck me, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, I'm good.
And I was going to say, to me, my top 5 choices, though, we had like 3 places in California and 2 places in Colorado.
Oh, yeah, we had Colorado also.
I didn't even have top 10 choices. Like, you were...
I had top 10.
Yeah, you were like, I have top 10. No, I was like, no, Abe. I have a top 5.
What were your top 5? We went over this. I just forgot.
It's so crazy because as long as we've had this conversation, we've gone back and forth. Finally, when I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's move to California. And I was sold on it. And I was like putting on my Raiders. Just kidding.
I'm like, yes.
I was trying to get your attention. When I was, getting ready. And I was like, I'm going to be at the beach with Levi. And then it was like, oh, okay, like maybe it's not going to happen. But we put 3 places in California, and then the last 2 were Colorado. But I was really hoping for California, but I was like, either way it goes, it's gonna go A, the way it's supposed to, and B, we're gonna be where we're supposed to be, and we're gonna be happy. So it was kind of like a good surprise.
Yeah, but you wanted to go to California.
I did, and then
You wanted to go to like LA type.
So Abe had told me that one of the cities that was on his list was right outside of Calabasas. Like I'm a Kim Kardashian fan or a Kardashian fan.
Yeah, that was on our list too.
So I had told Abe, like I'm just trying to get on the show, even though it's ending. Like I could be the 4th sister, 5th, 6th sister, whatever. I don't know. It's been a while since we watched the show, but it's all just jokes.
Yeah.
But I was, like I'm just trying to get a selfie with Courtney. Okay.
You are Courtney.
I know.
That's your name. Anyway, so, but one of the big reasons, right, we didn't pick that because we did pick it. We did ended up picking it. Did all this research, and like honestly thought like LA would be like top. So pretty much my list was like California, Colorado, Portland. Portland was high up there.
Oh yeah, I forgot Portland was up there.
It was like all the bases in Colorado, Portland, and Colorado, like Denver. And I was like, yep, these are my top ones, right? Obviously California was like all the way, like the first ones, right? Vallejo was like close, everything. But as we really started like diving into it, and then like this year with the housing market's been crazy, right? So I'm looking at houses, right? I'm looking at how much. So the Air Force, for people that aren't in the Air Force, they pretty much pay for your house. Like they give you an allowance dependent on the location that you live. So if you live in the Bay Area, right, they'll give you like $4,000 a month for a house plus whatever they're going to pay you, right? Or if you live in LA, vice versa, right? Colorado, all these different locations, right? It could even be like if you're living in like, I don't know, somewhere in the middle of the United States, like a city outside of Oklahoma City, like in Oklahoma, but not Oklahoma City, just like some.
You probably get like
low cost of living. Yeah, you're getting like $700 a house because that will buy you a decent house in that area, So when we started looking at the houses in LA, I was like, damn, I'm not accustomed to this life. Like just because we've been in areas where the houses are large, like in Germany, the houses are large. They're like 3 stories, really big, spacious. And we were looking at places, I think, in like Resda and like Northridge, North Hollywood, all those places, right? And I was just like, dang, like this house is so much money. It's like 3 bedrooms, which is like kind of... now that I'm saying it, I'm like, I probably sound like a spoiled brat, but I'm like, it's 3 bedrooms and the bedrooms are small. There's no master bathroom. Or it's like 2 large bedrooms and it's a condo, not a big backyard, small plot of land, all this stuff, right? And they're like older houses. I was like, damn, I don't want to move here, I was like, these houses are way too expensive. Most of them are like 2-3 bedroom condos, that's, you know, that's what is going to get us like $3,000-$4,000 or whatever. And I think like for whatever reason, the Air Force for LA doesn't give you that much money to live in LA. They only give you like, how much? It was like $2,700, something like that.
Maybe like just a little bit more than that.
And I was just like, damn, you get nothing for that, you know, in LA. And then we started looking at, right, the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. Same thing. I was like, damn, these houses are expensive, you know. And I was like, all right, so what else? And then we looked at Santa Rosa, and I was like, oh, Santa Rosa is good. Still expensive, but still doable. Like $500,000 houses, but the houses are bigger, right? Or can be bigger. And then Portland was on our list. That was like number one for me. But then we talked about, I'm like, look at what's happened in Portland. It's a really liberal city. Like, how are they going to view me as a government person, you know, an ambassador on behalf of the federal government, and then like a recruiter for the military.
Yeah.
Which is like almost like everything anti, you know, like Portland, you know? So it's like, I was like, what kind of life am I going to have there? Am I going to have to fear for my life and like be strapped up and like concealed carry because I don't want some crazy, you know, Antifa guys running up on me and I'm going to have to like handle this situation real quick. So I say that, but you know, just I'm like, I'm thinking like everything that's happened within the past year, the whole Antifa thing, they're, you know, rioting, they're doing all this stuff. And like, if I'm going to have how well received I'm going to be by, you know, people of Portland, and am I going to encounter extremist groups as a recruiter and having to wear my uniform out in public and stuff like that, and like go to high schools and stuff like that. So I was like, all these factors, right, that we were thinking of, and I was just like, how do I pick the perfect location?
It was hard.
Yeah. Was it hard for you?
I think so, because...
Did you think about that for Portland?
We had this conversation. Abe had to literally pull me down from this guy because I'm like, we're moving. We're going to live somewhere new. And Abe's like, remember, this is for my job.
Oh, you were like, Portland, we're going to Portland. Yeah, I was like, yeah, Portland's going to be dope. Let's go to Portland.
Like, yeah, like, you know, I feel like we could fit in there. Like, we could make it. And I was like so excited. And then it was just one of those things that when reality kind of washed over you and washed over me, and then you're like, hey, but you know what? Like, this isn't a smart choice because of my job. I was like, oh, well, okay. And then it was like, you have to change, you know, shift gears, change your mindset. Like, you're moving for someone else's job, and you need to think of what's in the best interest of their safety. Like, because for so long that we've been having these conversations, it's been like, what's going to be in the best interest of how you do business and what kind of community that we're in. And it was never like, is this a safe community? Like, safe for you when you go to work? And I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, and I think, like, I forgot where it was, but like earlier, I think last year around this time or something like that, or 2 years ago, there was like a recruiting office. I think they got a bomb threat, and they were like, "Yo,
don't tell. Why are you telling me?"
Yeah. And I think it might have been like in Portland, or it was like some pretty, you know, liberal city, and not that I'm, you know, not a liberal, or, you know, that I'm like some sort of like Republican or something like that, but you know, I'm kind of straight in the middle, right?
We wear a uniform. We have no political affiliation.
Right. Anyway, so, but I was like, you know, to these people, like, this is how I look, you know, this is where their mind's going to go. So, I think that the recruiting office got a bomb threat, and then the recruiters were like, you know, we're asking to arm up, you know, we're bringing in our own weapons to like conceal carry just in case, because I fear for my life, all this stuff. And he's like, you know, I have a family. If somebody follows me home and does that, you know, like, what is that? Like, I'm not on a base where like it's a secure facility and I can conduct my business. Like, I'm always out in the open, in the public eye. And then I was just like, dang, dude, I got to think about that. You know, that's something I really, really have to think about. So that, honestly, that that to me, I really wanted to go to Portland, but then it kind of like knocked Portland down a little, like a peg on my list, because I was just like, for so long I've had to worry about living overseas, right? And when you're overseas, they're like, don't wear your uniform off base, don't tell anybody that you're military, you know, like don't say anything, try not to trying to be like really cognizant, like be careful about what you say about being a part of the government and stuff like that while you're overseas, because some of these people don't like you, things of that nature. And you even see it here, right? Like sometimes the local nationals aren't so friendly to the military people or Americans, right? So I was like, I want to live somewhere where I'm going to be somewhat welcome in my community. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to fear about conducting business. So yeah, so that kind of knocked Portland down a couple of pegs, but it's fine. It was still like top 5 on my list though.
Yeah, I guess I had six choices. It was not budging. I mean, like I said, I was like, I'll have a good attitude wherever, but if you ask for my personal opinion, I'm not going to shy away from being open and honest about it. But it was kind of crazy for me because, I mean, now that everybody kind of knows my story of how I got here, like this is, you know, this would really be like my second PCS in my life. How I kind of see it, to where it was like the military was saying like where you go, and it's like this is just very different for me to experience, being that, you know, when I came to Germany, like I saw it as like we just kind of made that decision, but now like this is like the Air Force being like, all right, close your eyes now, you know, wave your hand in there wherever you land, like that's where you're gonna live. And it was like, whoa. So there were, I don't know, it's just something that I was feeling like before we found out, like, wow, like this is crazy. Like we have no idea where we're going to live for the next 3 years.
So anyway, yeah, our list was what? Top 1, 2 were?
Our top 2 were California and Colorado.
No, yeah. Well, top 2 was Littleton, Colorado, which is like close to Columbine. You know, I know that's kind of weird. And then it was like Thornton, right? Something like that. And then Santa Rosa, Portland, and then like all the other California bases that we talked about, whatever. Right. So that was our list.
And then the day that you found out, you called me and you were like, I found out. And then you're like, but I got to go to a meeting. And I was like, what the fuck? I
was like, I'll tell you when I get home. I'll tell you when. So you made me call you and stuff like that. So.
No, but then I ended up telling you, you're like, do you want me to tell you now? And I was like, you know what? Like, because I was having like such a bad day at work. I was like, I don't even care right now. Like, I need to get through this work day. Just wait until we get home. And I'm kind of glad that we did that, because it would have.
Yeah. And then I put on a little slideshow, and it was like a clue thing. It was like just like very vague things in the state that we were going to go live in or whatever. And yep, we ended up getting, or do you want to tell them?
I'll tell them together.
All right, let me cue in a drum roll for dramatic effect. Oh, damn it. All right. So anyway, we ended up getting Colorado. Yeah. So we ended up, we're going to Denver, Colorado. That's where I'm gonna be. That's the next move.
I'm so excited. Yeah. Levi's going to grow up in the mountains, and he's going to be a snowboarder.
That's what I'm really excited about, is the snowboarding all year long, or almost all year long.
All year long.
So the snowboarding, the hiking, and then the cheap flights to California and Texas, right? So that was like kind of why it was like number 1. So it was like cheap flights to California, so our family can visit, and then good jobs for you, right?
Good jobs for me.
A lot of government agencies within Colorado, with the Air Force, with the Army Corps of Engineers, and then DCMA, all these different places where Courtney's worked at. And then for me, it was just good housing, right?
Good housing,
even though it's expensive, $500,000 homes, right? But they're usually like $500,000 with like a basement and 3 bedrooms, a decent like a master bedroom or something like that. So I was like, that's doable. I'll shell out.
Yeah.
I'll shell out that instead of like a 2-bedroom, living in California, and it's like very populated, so.
And we found a good school for Levi that aligns with our ethics and values and everything.
So that's where we're going. And now the next move is pretty much, I guess, trying to find a realtor. I gotta sell my car because it's Euro spec and I can't take it over. Figuring out if I'm gonna buy just a used car to hold me over for a couple months, and then buy a new car there, and then hopefully scope out the area, close on a house, ship our car, ship all our stuff. Yeah,
we're gonna have to decorate a new house, and Abe was telling me that he hopes that I don't throw in all my blogger ideas from all the bloggers I follow.
I'm like, just close YouTube. All right.
He's like, I don't want no white khaki farmhouse sink shit.
It's like farmhouse sinks, subway tiles. What's the other thing? White cabinets with black handles.
Floating shelves.
Wicker baskets. Wicker shit out the ass. Wicker chairs. Wicker baskets. Wicker pots. Little cactus pots. What else? What's the other?
All the things.
Trending blogger thing.
Follow us on our journey to Colorado. And I picked up a business Pinterest page. So if you guys want to follow it, I don't even know the name. So that was probably a bad advertisement. I forgot. It's just like my first last name, Courtney DeLuna. Yeah, we'll do it later. But you guys, because I'm going to need help decorating, or we will. And we will catch up with you guys next week. Don't forget to follow us at the Collective Journey Podcast on Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're listening to today's episode, make sure that you post us on your Instagram and tag us and share us with your friends. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
R.I.P. DMX. So I just had to throw that out there. Also, I know I said I was going to get some stickers. Sticker order is late. And yeah, but they're coming.
Stay tuned.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.